Ladies and gentlemen, babies and elephant, welcome to a new video. My name is Bosley and here is the build guide for Dual Strike Berzerker. Let's get into it. The build guide is built around Berzerker. It's Dual Strike. It's a melee build. If you're looking for a build that has good survivability and high DPS, especially single target bossing, this is the absolute guide for you. Alright? So I'm pretty sure you guys know that in 2 weeks the new league will be coming out, Delirium, and it seems to be very interesting. And there's a lot of new mechanics, especially the skill tree, that you can actually use the jewels to branch out your skill trees, and you can really customize the build that you want to play. So it's really cool. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, you should go check it out. It's called Delirium 3.10. It's not 4.0, it's 3.10. The new league. Watch the trailer and then you'll know what I'm talking about. Alright? Let's put on D&D now. Alright, so let's see. Let's start off with the Ascendancy. So why we chose Berzerker? Because Berzerker, it has one of the biggest DPS output out there. So we've got to start off with the Ascendancy here. So first off, we want to go for we want to start off with Crave the Slaughter. So this one gives you rage on every hit. So every time you hit, it gives you a rage, and it's not going to last for more than 0.3 seconds. But what does the rage do? It gives you increased attack damage, increased attack speed, and movement speed. So this one can stack up to 50, which means it gives you 50% attack damage, attack speed, and move speed, which is really cool early on. As you move on, you would like to go up, getting this note here and getting Flawless Savagery. So this one gives you more crit chance, and it gives more flat fizz, and deal crit if you deal a critical strike recently, and also crit multi, which is really important, because if you can see, if you know, this one is fully fizz build. It's not elemental, non-elemental build. It's fully fizz built around Impale as well, and the Savior. So it's really scary. All right. So, and then after that, you want to go on and move to Blitz, which gives you Blitz, more attack speed, and again, more crit strike, and also Blitz charges 20. But this one will reduce down as in the duration of 5 seconds. So if 5 seconds after that, you reduce down to 0 again. Okay. And lastly, you want to go for Aspect of the Carnage, which gives you 40% more damage, which scales much more than increased damage. So more damage is giving you extra 40% more damage on top of whatever you have, rather than based on what you have. So this is the Ascendancy that you want to go for. Some people actually want to go for, you know, Slayer, or you want to go for Champion. Champion is pretty good as well, but I find that Berzerker has higher DPS because I really want to push it to the limit to see how fast I can melt the bosses. As you can see the showcase earlier, it takes about 2 to 3 seconds to melt a Conqueror, which is, in my opinion, is good enough, right? You're practically deleting bosses at this stage. Whether it's Elder, whether it's a Shaper, whether it's Cyrus, whether it's Uber Elder, aside from killing them, you just have to know the mechanics on how their skills work. But if you do know how the skills work, this will absolutely destroy them. Okay, so this is the Ascendancy for the Berzerker that you want to go for, and then let's go for the skill, the gears first. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I don't know why. So the gear. We're gonna go dual wield, 2 one-handed sword. I'll show you the budget option. I'll show you the main gear first, and then I'll show you the budget options that you can have. So the main gear I'm using now is the dual foil. So this one gives me a lot of fat fizz. It gives me about 560p DPS. Really good. But it's not compulsory. Like it's not something that you really need. You can go for anything that's above 400 is good enough. As long as you get something that gives you 400p DPS, good enough for you. And the other one, you really want to go for the Savior, because if you use Savior in any strike builds or most of the melee builds, it's really insane. Because it creates a mirror illusion of you, but it only deals half your damage. But you can summon up to 2 illusions. If you guys don't know how this thing works, basically when Savior, whenever you crit strike on an enemy, it will cast out illusion of you using the 6-link skill you have and dealing 50% of your damage. But you can cast up to 2. We call it Mirage Warrior, which is the illusion. Those the Savior is really insane. So when you are dual striking the boss, it will create illusions dual striking the boss as well. That's how the DPS go insanely high, right? And then for the helm, you want to go for 40% increased dual strike damage, helm enchant. And then after that, you want to go for you want to hope for getting life, some res if you can, and also nearby enemies takes extra 9% crit physical damage. And you want to craft one level to socketed AoE gems. Why? The reason why I choose that, because all my AoE gems are all here. I'll go through the gem links in a moment. The Ami, you want to go for flat fizz, some accuracy if you have low accuracy, because accuracy is quite important. If your chance to hit is low, even though you can hit really hard, there's no point. So this one, I crafted it myself as well. All the gears here, besides the unique, I crafted it myself. There's fire res over here, and 4% increased damage per frenzy charge, and chance to block, and some life. And also, the anointment that you want to go for, the amulet, you want to go for Tribal Fury, because it strikes a nearby enemy as well. So whenever you're striking one enemy, the nearby enemy will get striked as well, which is really crazy. And on top of that, you get 12% melee damage. I think there is here, yeah. So 12% increased melee damage, and also strike skills target one additional nearby enemy. The cost of the anointment is not cheap, but I can tell you this, it's really worth it. It's 1 gold, 1 silver, and 1 opalescent oil. So there's 3 oils. It costs about, I would say, less than 200 C. Maybe about 150 C-ish. Yeah, it's around that price. Still cheap, less than 1 exalt, but it's really worth it. For the rings, you want to go for flat fist rings, aspect of the cap because I'm running Pharaoh's Fur, and all res, life gain on hit, curse enemy with assassin mark, because this one is a crit based build with impale flat fist. Is a physical impale crit based build. So this one is 12%, level 12 assassin mark, which gives you much more damage boost, because the enemies will take more damage from assassin's mark, from crit damage. And also the elemental damage is just there. I'm just, I didn't want to risk it by removing it away, so I'll just leave it there. And non-channeling skills have -9 total mana cost, which is a crafted mod. And the other ring, you want to go for something like this. Herald Purity has increased buff, and also you want to get reduced mana reservation so that you can put in all the other AoE gems that you have. And hopefully if you can find one that gives you increased maximum life implicit, that will be great. If you can't, it's still okay. A ring like this, it will be about, I think, 2 to 3 exalts-ish. It's not too expensive, right? You don't have, because there are some mods that you can actually go for double Herald Purity, increased buff effect and increased damage, but that one you can't put on other auras that will give you much more damage than the Herald Purity can give you. Okay, so I will really recommend going for this increased buff effect and reduced mana reservation. This is much more better. In terms of the gloves, you want to go for spike gloves. This one gives me more melee damage, chance to impale on hit, and increase 1 to maximum frenzy charge. That's the most important thing. And also it gives me some res and increased damage while I'm leeching. So this one is really cool. Or you can buy, you can just use any rare gloves that gives you more frenzy charge. As long as you get more frenzy charge gives you more attack speed, more speed on everything, and more damage basically. So frenzy charge is always good. Pharaoh's Fur, as you know, aspect of the cat reserves no mana. So what aspect of the cat does? So aspect of the cat, well, while it's active, it will give you attack speed. The buff lasts 6 seconds, and then it gives you 100% crit chance, and also 50% reduced visibility to enemies, and to avoid all damage from hits. And also, it will give you all the maximum charges that you can possibly have without even hitting the enemy, which is the most important thing about the Pharaoh's Fur. So that you don't have to gain them, you just need to maintain your charges, like the Frenzy Charge and the Power Charge. Let's go moving on to the belt. The belt we have here is a Stygian Vice. This one gives me life, increased max life, some res, which is really cool. You can go for something else with life and res as well, just to cap your res. And the boots, also self-crafted. This one I have an enchant of attack speed, if you queued recently, which is really cool. Some intelligence, because you might need some intelligence to equip some of the gears over here. Mainly it's because of the Enlightened Gem as well. And a chance to gain Elusive on Crit Strike and Tailwind on Crit Strike, because it's Crit Strike build, so this comes naturally. Like this is the, it comes in a kind of a package. So Elusive basically gives you more, when you're in elusive state, you gain a chance to dodge spell hits and attack hits. And when you have Tailwind, you have greater speed on everything, like faster attack motion, faster attack speed, you know, everything that makes you faster, basically. So, what are the budget options that you can go for? If you don't have the budget to go for something like this, you can actually go for Darkrais Vectors, Dragon Scale Boots. This one gives you maximum frenzy charge, and but the problem is it reduces your frenzy charge duration. But still, if you're running on Feral's Fur, it's gonna be a problem. Gives you increased move speed per frenzy charge, really cool. Some lightning res, some armor, and chance to dodge attack hits per frenzy charge as well. So this is a really good option. If you don't have something like this, you can go for something like this. And you can go for the gloves. So you can go for gloves. You have 3 types of gloves you can go for, right? So some people, you don't have a budget for actually having an assassin mark on hit ring crafter like this. You want to go for something, you can go for Oscam, because Oscam has already built in level 10 assassin mark on hit, and it gives you crit chance per accuracy rating, and also gives you some life. But the problem is, the downside, if you're gonna have some reduction on chaos resist, but who cares? You already have like really low chaos resist anyway. And chance to dodge spell hits and some accuracy rating, really cool. This is a very good viable option. If you don't want to go for this one, you can actually go for Shaper's Touch as well. This one, you can even get a corrupted one with a really decent price. So this one gives you basically more life, more mana, more energy shield, and more evasion, and also fist damage. But if you ask me, if I don't have a ring like this, I'll definitely go for this one. But if I do have a ring like this, then I might go for Shaper's Touch, or you can simply just craft a Spike Gloves. And let's see, budget version, you can go for Stagonia's Head. If you don't want to use anything like this, like a helmet chart, you can always go for Stagonia's Head, because this one gives you attack speed, crit chance, life. Mainly the life gives you a lot of life. It goes up to 100. I'm pretty sure it goes up to 100. Yes, it goes up to 100. Some evasion and reduce damage when you're on low life. So you take less damage when you're on low life. Okay. And the budget option that you can go for, you can actually choose Mark of Submission, because this one, you can actually put Assassin Mark level 20 if you have, or 21. You can put it on the ring, and then you will curse the enemy with the Succulent Curse Gem on hit. So automatically you will gain a large amount of Assassin Mark on hit, but the problem was you're going to lose out, you know, other stats like life or res or whatever that you have or you want or you need. Okay, and then after that, you can go for, let's see, the belt. You can go for something like this. Flat Fist, life, and some res. So some of the items here are actually the low level when you want to start from scratch. Let's say you're going to play a new character and you want to start from the bottom. I have some information for you here, but I'm going to go through the flask first. You want to have a life flask with instant recovery, removes bleeding if you can. Bottled Faith, definitely good, always good. If you don't have the budget for Bottled Faith, you can replace it with the Aziri's Promise. That one is always a good option. Great DPS, and it costs less than 10C if I'm not mistaken. But Bottled Faith is really cool. You can gain crit chance on enemy when you're in consecrated ground, and also they take 10% more damage, so it is really cool. I was lucky enough to actually roll this and got perfect rolls on the crit chance and also the increased damage on the Bottle of Faith. So it's really cool. Cinder Swallow's Urn, and you want to get the enchant for this one, a crit chance during Flask effect. This one basically gives you life recovery, mana recovery, and energy shield recovery, and also the crit chance. Definitely we can't miss Diamond Flask of Heat, crit chance and immune to freeze, and also lastly Lion's Roar, which gives you 3000 armor, knockback on melee attacks, and also give you 20% more physical damage during the effect. Really cool. So what are the budget options? Let's say you want to start from scratch. Let's say you don't have a Berzerker, you don't have a melee character, you want to start this from the scratch. No problem. Because Dual Strike is actually kind of a League Starter friendly. I wouldn't say it's the strongest League Starter, but you can actually start playing and getting used to Dual Strike early on. So some of you out there might have a question. So there is Dual Strike, there's a skill called Double Strike. So what is the difference? Dual Strike deals base damage, increased crit chance, and 100% more crit chance against enemy that is on full life. So basically, Dual Strike is based on a crit chance based build. Okay. Double strike is based on the bleeding build, so we are not playing a bleeding build, so there's no point for us using a double strike. So that is the only difference. Other than that, everything else is the same. Okay, it's just the difference is one is bleeding, one is crit based. So if you're playing crit based, go for dual strike. If you like bleeding, then you can always go for double strike. I would say this: all the other gems that is linked to the gem is pretty much the same, both of them. So it does not really matter. But I prefer dual strike because I like crit. So you want to go for dual strike. So dual strike is actually level 1 by viable. You can actually start using it on level 1. Okay. So what are the links that you can put on? So let's say you're level 1 now and then you want to put it on. You can put on dual strike. So what are the things that you can link? You can put in ancestral call if you're level 4. So basically it will strike 2 additional target nearby enemies. You can always put this in. You can use melee splash if you want more clear speed because you're, leveling up and you want to clear faster. You can always use this, or you can just stick to Ancestral Call. It's up to you. Ruthless support is really cool. Deals a Ruthless Blow on every 3rd hit. Really, really cool. You can always use this one. Crit Strike support on level 8. You can always use this one. Onslaught, yeah, you can always use this one on level 1. Why not? And you can actually use more accuracy if you need more accuracy. Or you can just use maim to deal more damage, more fist damage, and the enemies will take more fist damage from you. There you go. A 6-link in pretty much below level 10, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, a 6-link on below level 10. There you go. And the gear, you can go for Red Beak, a one-handed sword. It has a really decent amount of fist damage, flat fist, attack speed, and life. What more can you ask from a one-handed sword on level 1? You can start using this on level 1. So I would say you can use both dual wield this one. You should be able to carry you all the way, towards the mid of the storyline. And then on level 7, you can choose to use this one as well, or you can, use both of this. So you can use Goddess of Bound. This one, it gives you crit multi, some succulent melee gems, but it uses both the hand swords, my bad. You can only use one of this, my bad. And this one gives you increased fist damage, attack speed, crit chance, and some increased movement speed when you're on low life. But if you ask me, I'd rather go for dual wield this one, or you can actually go for any dual foil as soon as you can buy one that has a good amount of PDBs. So the budget amulets or the overall amulets you can actually use these two. You can actually go for Ungil's Harmony. This one gives you some intelligence, some crit chance. You might lose a little bit of crit multi, but you got a lot more crit chance. Some life and some mana. So this one is it's kind of a good option if you're on a budget. And also you can go for Strength and Intelligence, Extractor Mantis. This one gives you Onslaught and Unholy Might on kill. Not bad. As for the helmet, early on you can go for Gold Rim. This one gives you a lot of res. So mainly using this because of the resistances. That's about it. Right? Same again, you can go for the Heavy Belt. This one you can equip on level 8. Flat Fist, Max Life, Cold Res. Why not? And I think I pretty much covered, let's see. And lastly, you can use this on level 1 as well. The gloves. This one is the Loctonial Keras. Gives you more attack speed, some life, and also chance to gain power, frenzy charge, duration charge on kill. Since you can't equip Pharaoh's Fur early on, you can only equip it on level 69, if I'm not mistaken. So you can actually try using this one. It will give you some frenzy charge gain as well, so it's really cool. And slowly you can as you go on, you can actually exchange the gears one by one and change it to whatever you want and you think that's ideal. Okay, so I'm done with the gear explanation. Now I would like to go through the gem links. So on my main hand, I have Blood Rage, Enhanced Support, and Dread Banner. So why did I put Enhanced Support? So Enhanced Support gives 24% increased quality of the support gems. So that means on Blood Rage, I have 20%. On top of that, 24%. So I have 44%. So this gives me a lot more attack speed on my Blood Rage. If I don't have the Enhanced, you see, I only have 20%. Once I put Enhance in, I have 26%. additional 6%. What more can you ask? Same score for Dread Banner. So Dread Banner, here you can see 10% increased effect of aura and 20% chance to impale. Once you put in Enhance, it will be 22% increase of effect of aura and 20% the chance to impale is the same. But the effect of the aura is the one that you want. So this is a good one. And then on the other hand, you can use Ice Golem, because we're using Ice Golem. The Ice Golem gives you more crit chance, along with cast when damage taken and Immortal Call. So Immortal Call basically gives you less damage taken, gives you more survivability, cast when damage taken. So that's on the other hand. On the helm, I'm using Enlighten, Flesh and Stone, because you want to use the Blood Stance. Blood Stance basically lets the enemy take more physical damage. And Pride, we're running Pride, Herald of Purity. So Herald of Purity gives you Flat Fist to your attacks, and there are also Purity minions out there to help you clear a bit better. But Herald of Purity is pretty good. And also Pride gives you a shit ton of DPS boost, which is really cool. So that's why all my auras are on here. So I have the socketed aura gems, has increased effect and stuff like that. So that's why I socket all my AoE gems here. And for the gloves, because I have one extra slot, I just put in Portal. Maim support, Culling Strike for the Ancestral Warchief, because I want my Ancestral Warchief to do Maim and Culling Strike. Culling Strike, when the enemy has 10% life and lower, it will die instantly, and it will increase more damage for the Ancestral Warchief as well. So Maim support, so it will allow the enemy to get a higher chance to get maimed, which also converts to more damage for yourself. If you're going for a Stygian Vice, you can go for a jewel like this. This one gives lives, Flat Fist, and also increased damage if you killed recently. You can get a, whatever you want to, you can actually get a jewel that cover up whatever that you're short of. For example, you have, you need more res, or you need more life, you need more DPS. You can scale around it and find the one suitable for you. And for the boots, we have 45 support. Endurance charge or melee stun, so when you leap slam, based on this is connected to leap slam, and also faster attacks. So basically you can leap slam like this. You can kind of like spam leap slam, and whenever you leap slam on an enemy, and it stuns the enemy, and also it gains endurance charge as well, which is really cool, because when you leap slam on an enemy and you stun them, you gain endurance charge. Endurance charge gives you more survivability, more armor, and more physical defense basically. So these are the 4 links I'm using for my boots. And last but not least, we want to go through the skill tree. Alright, so you're going to start off here. I'm using a Marauder, so you're going to start off here. And you want to go down here, and then you want to move on. First one, you want to go for Warrior's Blood. It gives you some regen, strength, and some stun threshold. If you need more life, you can move up, but I'll choose to move on down, because you're still at the early stage. You want to get more DPS. It depends on you. So if you are a new character, then you want to move on down and get more damage first, because the life is still okay. But if you're starting off like resetting a new character and just changing your Ascendancy to Berzerker and trying this out, then by all means you can just follow whatever that you can go for life here, and then you can move down. As you move down, you want to go through here and get some regeneration and fist damage. And then you can get some life and some attack speed over here. And then you can move up later on if you need more life. The life nodes are all here. And I equip a jewel slot over here as well. So this jewel is giving me a max life and some cold rest to cap my cold rest and attack speed while I'm dual wielding. And you can move on down here, downwards. If you move up here, it's more life. Enemies can't leech life from you. This is really good, because when you're killing enemies or bosses that actually leech life from you, they can't leech from you. So this is going to be very helpful. But of course, let's go back to DPS first. So you can move on down here. Since we're going for Impale, okay. Oh wait, I'm really sorry. I forgot to mention the 6th link on my armor. Okay, so the 6th link on the armor. We're going to start off with Dual Strike, and then Impale support, Awaken multi, or just multi-strike will do, Ruthless support, and Awakened Brutality, which more fizz damage, and melee fizz. It's all fizz. Okay? So this is what I tried out, and this one actually gives me the highest DPS right now. It's up to about 22 to 24 million, so you can melt almost any boss out there. It's pretty cool. Let's get back to the skill tree. So let's see. So as you move on here, you want to go down and catch all these nodes over here. So it gives you more attack physical damage and chance to impale. And lastly, you increase the impale effect when the enemy stake, which means that they're going to take much more damage. So just so you guys know, why do we want impale? Okay, imagine this. So impale basically increases damage on every consecutive hit. Okay, so if you impale an enemy, the enemy will take increased damage over time. So let's say the first hit, it takes 10%. The second hit, it takes 20%. The third hit is going to take 30%, 40%, 50%. Just like that. So that means the more consecutive hits you have while the enemy is impaled, the damage will go higher and higher and higher. So it's a damage stacking skill. So that's how crazy impale is. The only thing is impale is a physical skill, so you can't use it with any elemental, but when you're using a physical build, impale is kind of like a must-have, I would say. So as you go 10%, then the second hit 20%, third hit 30%, 40%, 50%. Yeah, that's how it works. So this one will actually increase the effect of the impale. And then move on down, you want to get a Watcher's Eye. So a Watcher's Eye, this one I went for the first priority on the Watcher's Eye. There's quite a few options there. You can go for double damage pride and all that, but the first thing you want to go for is always go for impales you inflict last 2 additional hits while you're using pride. So what does this do? When you impale only 5 hits, right? So 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%. So this one will inflict 2 additional hits. That means you will hit one more time on the 6th hit, will gain 60%, and then the 7th hit, you gain 70%. So imagine the amount of damage that you're going to stack on top of 5 hits. 6 hits, 60% more, 7 hits, 70% more. Crazy. And life nodes over here, some frenzy charge over here, savagery is always good. Move on down, up here, you want to go for thick skin, some life. And you want to go for Hone Edge because this one gives you more damage, more attack speed, and some accuracy is always good. Want to get more accuracy. And then Brutal Blade here gives you more damage, more attack speed, some more damage and crit chance for Fatal Blade, Herbalism for some life, Frenzy Charges over here, and Heartseeker for some crit multi. And here's another unique jewel that you want to put in. I'm putting in Might of Influence. So this is it's the only one most important unique jewel that you need. This one gives you increased fizz damage, and we have 40 dexterity in the radius. You will get 20% chance to deal double damage with the main hand. So this one will do double damage. And then, lastly, when you have 40 dexterity in radius, Dual Strike deals offhand splash damage to surrounding targets. So your offhand is going to deal splash damage as well. So this is a really, really important gem. You want to go for this as soon as you can. You can actually use this as soon as you're level 26. If you're starting early, you can start using this as well. And moving up, you're going to go for Frenzy Charge and also Blood Drinker. Some life nodes over here. Move on down. You want to catch these nodes over here because you need accuracy. Accuracy is quite important. If you can deal 1,000,000 damage, but you're not hitting the enemy, what's the point? You get what I mean? So accuracy plays a very important role over here. You want to cap your accuracy as much as you can. And you want to move up and get some move speed and some damage. Crit chance and physical damage from Wheel of Blades. And then you can move down and get Sleight of Hands, some attack speed and some damage as well. And then move on over here, Coordination, some attack speed. Moving up, some life. And Trickery for some increased crit chance. On this side, you want to go for Blade of Cunning, which gives you more fizz damage and crit chance and crit multi. Very important. And some life nodes over here on the left. And up here, lastly, some life nodes over here. Alright, so this is pretty much covered the whole build overall. I'm pretty sure this will actually very satisfy you. This build is going to be very, very, very cool to play with. And this will be the last build I'm going to build for this league. And I'm looking forward to the new league coming out soon. It's going to be out in 2 weeks approximately. And I'll be sure to come out with some new build guides for league starters for the new league. And also there'll be a lot more contents to be coming soon enough once the new league is out. So I would like to thank you all very much for stopping by and checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed this build. I really thank you very much for spending your time sitting down here watching this video. There's a lot of errors that I've gone through the whole video when I'm recording this. I really like to apologize for all the mistakes I've made. And I hope you really try this build out, because this one is really a boss deleter. That's what I call. So I stream every day, 9 p.m. Asian time plus GMT plus 8. I stream every day, so you can come check me out. And we can hang out. If you have questions about the build, or you can drop a comment down below on the YouTube channel. And also you can follow me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Brawlsley. The Twitch information is down there and below as well. And if you do like my content, you can like and subscribe. I do have other build guides in my channel as well, like Frostblades and Flicker Strike as well, and the Zombie Mancer and stuff like that, so you can check them out. Yeah, and I'll see you on the next build guide or another next video. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. See ya.